Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? This is Warren from the Rhapsody Piano Studio. I want to welcome you to today's live lesson. We're going to be working on Chris. This is from the Minecraft collection, uh, more specifically, Volume Alpha, composed by C418. Make sure you pick up a copy of the sheet music in the cards. There'll be links to the video description as well. And also remember, and this also, by the way, this is going to be for intermediate piano. I'm going to explain a little things about this song before we start because it's kind of necessary. But once when you learn all the things that I'm teaching you in these live lessons, it's my hope that you actually check out the tutorial and see if you can teach yourself that. All right, don't just depend on all these songs or all these lessons I'm doing here. If you don't go out and try it on your own, you're never going to be able to learn. So if it's a good sign if you're able to click on over to the tutorial after this lesson, of course, and these practice principles that I teach you here. If I'm doing my job correctly and if you're learning the right way, then you should be able to use these tutorials with little or no guidance from me. All right, before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you want to catch whenever I go live, hit those notifications, the reminders will let you know when I go live. And you can find a schedule. Will be linked. Well, I always leave comments, so make sure you check the comment section below, and I'll have a link to the next upcoming scheduled live lessons. Okay, so before we start, Minecraft, I mean, it's fun to play, and I'm not gonna lie, it's cool music. I mean, I've never played it myself, but I've enjoyed some of the students even teaching it to them as well. But what makes these arrangements, even I have a problem with these because they're not that really piano friendly. And when I say that, it's almost like I don't know who Daniel Rosenfeld is, the guy who composed this, but it just seems like he doesn't really know how to play piano in a way that's natural, because it's very robotic. It's almost mechanical, and it's like a computer program created this. Sometimes you find that stuff like all over MuseScore. But I'm not saying it's bad or good, whatever. Just to know that it's gonna be a little awkward to get into it, and the reasons you're gonna have difficulty with these pieces, not just because they're only difficult, is because it's very awkward. Okay, yeah, it's like if you imagine if you had like a Shakespeare sonnet written by like a computer program, you could tell it's Shakespeare, but something's off. Okay. Anyway, I'm not saying this is Shakespeare, but all right. With that said, let's go through the song. I'm gonna show you the step-by-step practice ideas, and I hope I give you a lot of suggestions on how to tackle this piece. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. Now we're gonna do it, and it might be a lot more sneezing today. It's because it's allergy season. So, all apologies in advance. Let me give you the introduction. All right, and hold on. I need to check the tempo here. All right, so it's like 92. I guess something like that. Okay, so I probably definitely took that a bit too fast, but whatever. Okay, so sorry, apologies if I'm not following the correct tempo. Okay, here we go. Try it one more time. I'm gonna slow this sucker down. Okay. Alright, that went much better. And as you're practicing, notice how much I gave you to practice here. It's just one little part, one little section. You can even call it chunking. There's not an exact word for it, but we're just going to call it small chunking, this process, okay? So I'm going to give you small parts at a time. And, common sense wise, we're going to take these smaller sections and slowly build them up into bigger and bigger sections until you actually can do the entire song, okay? All right, so I just gave you the introduction. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 measures. Always connecting it to the start of the next measure, by the way, okay? I'll show you the right hand real quick because there's not a lot going on. All right, try it with me together if you will. Ready, go. spelling that wrong, whatever. Here we go. Left hand. Yeah, and then notice some of these notes it's telling you to hold it like that for the entire value. So they want a whole note tied into the next measure. A lot of these markings you could probably disregard. Just going back to that point where I was saying this is kind of some of this stuff is pretty awkward. So you don't have to follow exactly what he writes here, in my opinion. All right, here's the left hand. Let's try it together now. Ready, go. Especially the last two measures here. No, just don't hold it, right? Not even try. All right, now we just go back to both hands. So we're like simplifying the process. So we're just doing right hand, left hand, hands together, multiple combinations. Whatever else you can kind of think up on your own as well. All right, let me play it for you one more time from the beginning, because the reason I'm gonna play it before we start and try it together, and I'll also explain like how many times you need to be doing this stuff. Reason I want to play and demonstrate first is because studying is as much part of the process of practicing as just playing. All right. All right, let's go back, try that together. Ready, go. On to the next part of the song, here's where it gets really weird. Alright, I totally butchered that. I need to take this, sorry peeps, I gotta take this really slow here. Here's the right hand. Oh, what is that? It's just super weird. It's like already here, right? So this could take you days, all right? Anyway, I'm going to go back, attempt it again. Both hands here. No, that's not right. Oh my God, all right. Yeah, we're going to take this 2 measures at a time. Here's the right hand again. Very awkward. Okay, let's just go ahead and do that. Here we go. Right hand together. Ready, go. All right, so that's working out so far. Here's the left hand. Together now, ready, go. I'll do that again. Ready, go. Yeah, try to go really slow here. It's both hands again. There we go. Together now, ready, go. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Let's try the next 2 measures. Alright, so this little jump here, this is what I'm talking about. This is just, I'm like, nah, Anyway, I'm not gonna complain about this, but I am not having fun playing this right now. Anyway, here's your right hand. Okay, let's do that a lot slower. There we go. Ready, go. Okay, left hand. Thankfully, it's a lot simpler. Okay, let's do that together. Ready, go. Way down here in the bass as well. Let's do the right. Let's do both hands together now. Give it a listen first. Here's how it goes. Definitely, you need to be practicing with the metronome with this. Yeah, I'm having a hard time like following along as well. Use a metronome when you're practicing this. Doesn't necessarily have to be at the regular tempo. All right. Now notice I really haven't been saying anything about how many times you need to be playing this because I want you to write this down. Pause the video if you need to. This is called spaced repetition, okay? It's gonna be one of the most important things you ever learn in practicing. Not even practicing like, you know, if you're in school or whatever, if you have to study on the job, all right? It's, think about like how they teach you to memorize. Rote memory, you just do it like, you know, a million times in a row. It's actually not a good way to memorize. Same thing with practicing. Doing it a million times in a row might feel good, but it's actually not a good way to practice. So what you want to do is do it enough times where you're slowly getting the hang of it and like it won't fall apart like a disaster, I guess. And then I guess you can just kind of, even if you don't feel confident with the quality of that section you practice, then you just move on. You do something else, you practice something else at the same time, and whenever you choose to later on in the session, you can even come back to it another day if you'd like. And you just come back and practice it again. You space the repetitions out, okay? Anyway, like this could take a full video to explain. So why don't you go ahead, just Google it online. It's one of the best things I've ever learned in my own life. Hope you guys can learn to apply it. All right, now let's go back, put all four measures together. Right hand. All right. Now you think of it this way too. A lot of these notes you don't really have to play, in my opinion, because it's very awkward. And I'm telling you, if I were to teach this, if I actually taught this to one of my students, I'd probably take a lot of these notes out. Ones that make it awkward. So like these half note values, okay, I would just play the melody. Yeah, so in that case, you know, I think that's a much better option. But, you know, for the sake of today's lesson, we're gonna play everything here. All right, let's try the right hand again together now. First, those four measures in that section. All right, ready, go. Okay, left hand. Try it together. Ready, go. Alright, and back to both hands. Make sure you watch, listen very carefully. Do that together now. Ready, go. play the next section, and just a rough look. It looks exactly the same, but let's see if there's anything different here. Okay, so it's the same, and whenever I am teaching stuff to my students, like, you know, songs, okay, what were you thinking? But what you want to do is whenever it's an exact repetition, just go ahead and skip that section. I mean, I don't know where a lot of teachers, they might just tell you to play it just for the sake of playing it, but anything to do you can do to maximize your time is a good idea in my opinion. And teachers will tell you to play it. They don't value their own time, in my opinion. So if it's an exact repetition, there's no need to practice it. Okay? All right, let's keep it going. Let me see if it's any different. It looks exactly the same, but you know, I'm gonna play it. Yeah, sorry, sped up right there. So it's basically the first 1, 2, 3, 4 measures of that at the beginning part of this. It just repeats it twice. Okay? So you're just gonna play it 3 times in a row. That's about it. You don't really need to practice that as long as you are aware of that. Okay? Alright, so let's see, what should we do here? We have one more section to go actually. Now, alright, something quick. If you want to play this entire, you know, this section that we just did, even if it's an exact repetition, you know, if you're not used to, it depends on where you're at with focus. So I wouldn't just like play the 3 sections repeated after another. If you're not able to do it, what I mean is that you have to build up your concentration. So if your focus is not there, then don't force it on yourself. It's like if you can't lift a 100-pound weight, you can't lift it. You have to build up your muscles to get to that point, okay? So it's the whole idea of spaced repetition again. So you want to do this enough times. I'm telling you, if you try it and then you practice this every day, eventually you're going to be able to do it, but be patient. You got to build up your concentration. All right, I'm going to keep going, give you this last section. And before we wrap this lesson up, I just want to ask you guys if, you know, have you enjoyed this video? And if the answer is yes, and if you've learned something from it, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you know anyone who would love to play this on piano, would appreciate it if you shared it with them as well. And thanks for watching. Let's keep it going. Last section here. Those 4 measures, yeah. This part's really cool. I really like how he creates this atmosphere. I'm not using a whole lot of pedal here, but actually this is a really good place to use a lot of pedal if you want. That is cool. It kind of enhances the atmosphere. All right, but here's the right hand. Kind of like impressionistic in a sense. All right, let's do both right hand together. Okay, so that's going to be a 16th note, which is why that goes so fast. Okay, ready, go. Okay. Oh, and make sure you stick around for the recap. We'll go and tell you all the most useful things we learned in today's lesson. And also, if you're gonna go back and really practice this note for note, I'm going to show you, I'm gonna give you some advice on how to tackle that, okay? All right, here's the left hand. Mind that jump. Okay, let's try that together. Ready, go. Back to both hands. Trying that together. Ready, go. Okay, we're gonna keep it going. That's pretty cool. All right. That looks like a good place to stop. So this last section is how I'm practicing right now. 4 measures at a time. Sorry about the leaf blower machine outside. I'm just gonna play and talk a little bit louder. All right. Anyway, here is the next. Let's redo this. Just the right hand. Let me show you. And there go the dogs. Wonderful. Okay. Let's just play through this mess. Right hand together. Ready. Go. Alright, left hand. Together now. Ready, go. And back to both hands. Let's try that together. Ready, go. Alright, and then the last 4 measures I'm actually not going to play it, because if you look at it right now, because you should have the sheet music for this, do not try to learn this one by ear. I guess you could if you want, but anyway, looking at the sheet music is exactly the same thing, so you don't need to practice this last part. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'll give you this last section, and I'll go through this entire last section. There's like about 3 rows here, okay? It's like about 12 measures. I'll give you right hand, left hand, hands together. Try it with me together if you want. Here we go. Ready, go. Right, here's left hand. Ready, go. Alright, now back to both hands. Ready, go. Add a little bit more pedal. See if you guys like it. Okay, so that's about it. And here is the recap for the lesson. You go back and you try from the beginning. Do small sections at a time. Okay, and then if you need to, you just go back and review this lesson. you know, it's just, if you really want to learn stuff, you got to come back to things time after time again. Like, you're not going to just try this once and get it. That's why I keep posting these lessons over and over again online. If you go through these lessons, every lesson, you're going to understand a little bit more. So just keep coming back to it, first of all. But the idea of repetition, we talk about spacing it out. So you want to take a certain amount of time, and I'll give you a very loose guideline, is when it gets easier, you can wait longer to come back and practice it a little bit more. If it's a little bit more difficult, you don't want to wait too long because you'll totally forget, okay? And that's just like a rough guide. It gets a little bit more advanced than that, so definitely make sure you look that up online. So small chunking, and then building it up into bigger parts, you know, so one day you might be able to do a page, and then another page, and then you eventually can build up to 2 pages at a time. If you're not used to doing something like this, don't think that you're gonna get everything done perfectly in one session, okay? It's gonna take multiple times, you know, maybe like a week or so. So you gotta give yourself a proper deadline with this, okay? Last thing I wanna say about these pieces, these arrangements for all the Minecraft, is these are very awkward. It doesn't seem like he really plays piano. It's almost like he inputted into a computer screen and then spit this out. So that's what makes this difficult, okay? Now, if you want to go and play literally all the notes here, I don't think you need to, in my opinion. You can take a lot of notes out and you can kind of just adjust it if you want. But if you're going to do that, especially the middle section, we have 3 different parts. The bass. We also have the middle section, which are these half notes. Quarter notes there. It's like a middle voice, and then we have the top. All right. So what you're gonna do is go back and practice these in certain combinations. So we'll just do the top and the bass. Okay. You can try the middle voice and the bass. The last combination we have is the middle and the top voice. Okay, so that's the different combinations I would practice it. If you really insist on playing every single note, all parts, totally not necessary in my opinion, but go ahead and have at it if you want to try it. Now, if you're interested in, you know, like these 3 voices and all these different parts, these layers, a really good composer to practice if you're really interested in this type of stuff would be Bach, okay? Some inventions where, you know, especially the inventions, not the preludes and fugues, that might be way too difficult for you at this point, but the reason I bring that up is because he has 2 voice inventions, and invention is just like a piece. It's not like not like an Albert Einstein invention or like Thomas Edison or anything like that. It's just like the name for like a piece, okay? So he has 2 voice inventions, like something like that, right? So there's like 2 voices, 1 and 2 at a time, interacting with each other. And then also when you get more advanced, he has 3 voice inventions. They're also called sinfonias, where you have, you know, like this. You have 3 different parts kind of all interacting at the same time. Will totally raise your level of piano listening and the voicing and all the different harmonization aspects if you want to go that route, okay? Alright, anyway, that's it for today's lesson. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed teaching it. And just a last reminder, if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification bell to see when I go live. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. And also, make sure you check out the actual tutorial. Listen to it from beginning to end. See if you can study for yourself, alright? Alright, thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time. Happy practicing.